I was reborn 1 second before the truck hit. I immediately jumped out of the way and watched Jiang Cheng get dragged under the wheels. In my past life, when the truck came at us, I instinctively shoved Jiang Cheng away. But when I woke up, both my legs were gone. College applications had already closed. After graduating, Jiang Cheng married me. He was always polite, but never truly warm. I felt inferior because of my disability, so I was always careful around him and tried to please him in every way. Then our old high school classmate died in childbirth. He stormed in, grabbed me by the throat, and glared at me with bloodshot eyes. If you hadn't schemed to save me back then, I wouldn't have been forced to marry you out of guilt and miss my chance with Wan Wan. You killed her. You owe her your life. That was when I learned he had always loved her. For the next 5 years, I endured endless humiliation and abuse. Jiang Cheng would take me to crowded parties, have someone remove my wheelchair, and force me to crawl across the floor. He even put my food on the ground and made me eat like a dog. I begged him to let me go, but he gripped my chin and said, "Let you go? Then who let Wan Wan go?" Depression consumed me, and I eventually took my own life. Now that I was reborn, I would stay out of other people's fate and let destiny run its course. Jiang Cheng twisted his face in rage and yelled at me, "Stay out of it! Get lost!" Without another word, I stepped aside and watched him get pulled under the truck. He passed out on the spot as blood seeped from beneath it. Screams erupted all around us. I gave him one cold look and walked home. As soon as I got home, I rushed to my room, opened the college application website, entered Fudan University, and clicked submit. I stared at the words application submitted and slowly let out a long breath. In my past life, I scored 700 and ranked in the top 50 in the province. But I was unconscious for 3 days after saving Jiang Cheng, and applications had closed by the time I woke up. Jiang Cheng stood beside my hospital bed, looked at my empty pant legs, and said coldly, "There's no point repeating senior year. No school wants a cripple." He went off to college in the capital and lived his youth to the fullest, while I stayed home working customer service online. Every dollar I made went to him. In 4 years, he never came back once. After graduation, my parents pressured him into marrying me. During our 5-year marriage, he never once smiled at me. He hated me for using his debt to me and for taking the place he believed belonged to Lin Wan Wan. Fine. This time around, I would give them exactly what they wanted. News of Jiang Cheng's accident spread through the neighborhood. Because our families were close, my parents urged me to visit him. When I reached the hospital, Lin Wan Wan was already there. The moment she saw me, her eyes were red like a rabbit's. "Jixia, you were walking with Jiang Cheng. Why are you fine while Jiang lost both his legs?" As soon as she said that, everyone in the hallway turned to look at me. It happened too fast. I didn't have time to react. She bit her lip and cried even harder. "Did you really not react in time, or did you hurt him on purpose? Jixia, no matter what, Jiang is like this now. Shouldn't you take responsibility?" Jiang Cheng's mother stood up and looked at me. "Jixia, you owe our family an apology." I suddenly smiled, looked at Lin Wan Wan, and said softly, "Mrs. Jiang, you may not know this, but Jiang Cheng asked me out because he wanted to buy Wan Wan a graduation gift. She specifically wanted something from a store on the east side, so he took a detour." Panic flashed across Lin Wan Wan's face as she tried to cut me off. I raised my voice. If it weren't for that, he never would have gone out, and none of this would have happened. Mrs. Jiang suddenly grabbed Lin Wan Wan's arm. Wan Wan screamed and cried. "I only said I liked it. I never begged him to buy it. This has nothing to do with me." Mrs. Jiang was about to say more when the doctor stepped out of the room. "The patient is awake." Lin Wan Wan ran in first, and I followed behind Mrs. Jiang. Jiang Cheng lay pale in the hospital bed, but he looked unusually alert. The second he saw me, his expression changed. "What are you doing here?" He looked at me warily. "This time, I never gave you the chance to save me. So, what are you going to use to guilt-trip me now?" Then he turned to his mother and declared, "Mom, my accident had nothing to do with Zhu Jixia. No matter what she says, don't believe her." Mrs. Jiang's lips trembled as tears fell. Jiang Cheng frowned. "Why are you crying?" Then he suddenly remembered something. "Wait, isn't it time to submit college applications? Bring me my laptop." No one moved. Jiang Cheng suddenly looked at me. "Which school did you apply to?" I stayed expressionless. Jiang Cheng slammed the bed and growled, so I finally answered, "Fudan." He froze, clearly not expecting me to get into such a good school. Then he sneered. "Good. It better really be Fudan. Since you'll be in Shanghai, I won't set foot there. And don't you dare take the train to see me every weekend, or I'll humiliate you in public." He turned to Lin Wan Wan, and his voice instantly softened like melted sugar. "Wan Wan, where did you apply? With my grades, I can follow you anywhere." Lin Wan Wan bit her lip and spoke timidly. "Jiang, the application deadline already passed." The entire room fell silent. "That's impossible!" Jiang Cheng instinctively reached for the phone on the nightstand, then froze halfway. His eyes slowly moved down. The flat bedsheet collapsed below his knees. He reached out and felt nothing. "Where are my legs?" No one answered. His face turned deathly gray, and he couldn't stop himself from looking at me. At that moment, he finally remembered what I had gone through in our past life. His mother threw herself around him, sobbing. "My baby, it's okay, we can get you prosthetics. You missed applications this year, but you can take the exam again next year." A faint smile tugged at my lips as I replied calmly, "Why bother? After all, no school wants a cripple." Those were his exact words to me, and I returned every single one. His face went from gray to bright red. He grabbed a cup from the table and hurled it at me. "Zhu Jixia, you're enjoying this, aren't you?" His eyes were bloodshot and his voice nearly cracked. "You deliberately refused to save me when the truck came. You're jealous of Wan Wan. You thought if I was crippled, no one could take me from you, didn't you?" I glanced at the broken glass on the floor and answered calmly, "You told me to stay out of it." Want to check the surveillance footage? I told you to stay out of it, so you really did. When we were kids, I told you not to follow me. Why did you still trail after me like a dog? You've schemed to cling to me since childhood, dreaming of becoming Mrs. Zhang. Happy now. It cost me both legs, but I finally saw how fake and vicious you are. Worth it. I don't care if I'm disabled. Even if I die, I'll never marry you. I turned and walked out without hesitation. Mrs. Zhang chased after me and grabbed my hand. Zixia, I know you've been hurt, but Chung is like this now. He can't be alone. Haven't you always loved him? Could you stay and take care of him? I froze. Mrs. Zhang continued. Fudan isn't that important. You're a girl. Going to college won't affect whether you can get married. But Jiang Qing is different. He's ambitious. He has dreams of his own. Lin Wanwan followed close behind and added, Zixia, stay by Zhang's side and take good care of him. He'll eventually see how good you are. She stepped in front of me looking sincere. Getting into Fudan isn't half as important as winning Jiang's love. He's the real purpose of your life. I looked at both of them and peeled Mrs. Jiang's fingers off my wrist one by one. Mrs. Jiang, I have dreams too. Going to Fudan is my dream. Mrs. Jiang froze and her expression slowly changed. Jiang Chung is already like this and you still want to go to college? I smiled. Of course. I got into Fudan and my whole family is thrilled. We're even throwing a banquet. Want to come? Mrs. Jiang's face stiffened. When I got home, my parents were happily planning the celebration. I washed up and went straight to bed. At 2 a.m, a string of urgent calls woke me up. The second I answered, Lin Wanwan was on the other end. She immediately ordered me, Zixia, come to the hospital and take care of Jiang right now. Something shattered in the background. Then she lowered her voice and warned me. Jiang said he'll give you one last chance. If you behave, he'll let everything from before go. I almost laughed. No. The line went silent for a second before Lin Wanwan raised her voice. Shu Jixia, if you don't come, you'll never see Jiang again. Don't do something you'll regret. You love him so much. You'll be miserable if you never see him again. I hung up and went back to sleep. The next morning, I went to a bookstore to buy study guides for my cousin, who was a high school senior. I picked out a few books. As I was checking out, I heard a familiar voice behind me. Zixia, what are you doing here? Lin Wanwan was pushing Jiang Chung in a wheelchair. When he saw me, a mocking smile curled across his lips. Didn't you say you weren't coming? Regretting it already? You must have done everything you could to find out I'd be here today, just so you could fake a chance encounter. Shu Jixia, your tricks are still pathetic. Lin Wanwan sighed. Zixia, why are you making things harder for yourself? If you can't see Jiang, you're the one who'll suffer. She reached out to make me push his wheelchair. I dodged her, so she snatched the bag from my hand. Inside were several senior year study guides and workbooks. Zixia, you really do say one thing and mean another. She acted like she had uncovered some huge secret and shouted dramatically. You knew Jiang was repeating senior year, so you bought these for him, didn't you? She handed the bag to Jiang Chung, but he immediately knocked it to the floor and lifted his chin arrogantly. Anything from you is filthy. I crouched down, picked up the books one by one, brushed off the dust, and said calmly, they're not for you. Enough, Shu Jixia. Jiang Chung frowned, sounding completely fed up. Aren't you tired of playing hard to get? My patience has limits. Keep this up and I really will make sure you never see me again. Lin Wanwan quickly grabbed my hand, acting worried for me. Exactly, Zixia. Stop pretending. Look, your eyes are already red. You must be heartbroken. I stared at her speechlessly. My eyes were red because her call woke me up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't fall back asleep until dawn. Jiang Chung studied my face, seemingly remembering our past life. The coldness in his expression eased slightly. Fine. He sighed like he was making some enormous sacrifice. Here's the deal. Tear up your Fudan admission letter and move into my house tomorrow to care for me. You'll cook all my meals and make sure they're nutritious. You'll pay my family $3,000 a month for food and rent, clean the house, and stay with me through every rehab session. I've had insomnia lately, so you'll sit by my bed and read me the news. You don't sleep until I do. If you do a good job, I'll let you stay by my side long term. I opened my mouth to speak, but he raised one finger and warned me. But don't even dream about getting a title. Lin Wanwan clapped excitedly and nudged my arm. Well, hurry up and thank Jiang. You've waited all these years for this moment, haven't you? I pushed her hand away, slung the book bag over my shoulder, and walked off. Lin Wanwan called after me anxiously. Jiang Chung gave a cold laugh. Relax. She's just playing games to get my attention again. She'll be back apologizing within 3 days. For the next 2 months, I deliberately avoided any news about Jiang Chung. I tutored my cousin and prepared everything I needed for college. Meanwhile, Jiang Chung and Lin Wanwan flooded social media with intimate photos. When someone asked about me, Jiang Chung sneered, Why bring up that bad luck loser? Lin Wanwan sighed and said pointedly, She disappeared after causing Jiang to lose his legs. She's probably afraid of taking responsibility. On the last day of August, I got a call from an unknown number. When I answered, Jiang Chung coldly demanded, Where are you right now? I frowned slightly and he continued, I don't care where you are. Tomorrow, I'm confessing my feelings to Wanwan on the school field. Be smart and stay away. If you ruin it, I won't go easy on you. I replied calmly, Don't worry. He clearly hadn't expected me to agree so easily. After a long pause, he laughed angrily. Fine, Su Jixia. You better keep your word. Don't make me look down on you. He hung up with a snap. Early the next morning, I dragged my suitcase to the high-speed rail station. The moment I arrived, my high school group chat exploded. Jiang Chung had been beaten up by Lin Wanwan's boyfriend. I froze. A second later, Jiang Chung called. His voice was thick with defeat. You're happy now, aren't you, Shujixia? What? Stop pretending. You can't live without me. When you heard I was confessing to Wanwan, you probably stayed up all night, then hid near the field all day. When she said she only saw me as a brother, you must have jumped for joy. He took a deep breath like he had made the hardest decision of his life. You win. You got me. The title of Mrs. Zhang is yours. I still love Wanwan, but I'm willing to let you win me over. Pack your things and come take care of me right now. I looked up at the Fudan University sign and gave him a simple answer. I can't. Zhang Cheng's voice instantly turned cold. Shujixia, don't push your luck.